Real willing to help Bale move, Arsenal back in for Aouar, Chelsea agree keeper deal, a transfer roundup, and today's Thursday favourites all coming up in the next few minutes as I am your host Matt Froelich. You are the Onefootballers and this is the Daily News. So first off, and the long-awaited transfer of Gareth Bale may be happening, and it looks like, for once, Real Madrid are actually trying to facilitate it. Apparently, a loan deal is most likely for Bale back to the Premier League, with both Spurs and Manchester United interested, and Real Madrid are willing to pay up to 50% of his wages. Now, on the face of it, that's a very generous thing for them to do, but when you actually look at how much Gareth Bale earns, it's still a ridiculous amount of money. Apparently, he's on 600k a week, which means that Spurs, United, anybody else who wants to try and sign the Welshman will have to pay 300 grand a week just to get him on loan. Apparently at the end of the season there will be an option in this deal for a 25 million euro transfer, but then once that happens, you're still going to have to negotiate a new contract with the by then 32-year-old player, and it's just a hell of a lot of money. Honestly, Manchester United have historically been the ones to splash out a little bit more cash, but it looks as though they are trying to save up still in the hope that Jadon Sancho will be joining the club, so this kind of leaves Spurs as the only option. I think, first off, if they're to offer a little bit less in the future to Bale, he may decide to go for a little bit less given the history with Tottenham, but even then, Spurs will still be absolutely breaking the bank to bring him in. Now you're probably wondering why this has come about so recently. Well, it's because Gareth Bale is up to his old tricks. He apparently reported back to training with Real Madrid after playing 90 minutes for Wales the other day, saying that he's injured, that he's got a knee or an ankle problem and that he won't be making the first game of the season for Real Madrid. It's just typical Gareth Bale at the minute, and honestly, he really needs to move. So from Spurs to their North London rivals Arsenal, who apparently are going back in for Aouar, the Lyon midfielder who's been attracting a lot of interest from the likes of Manchester City, Juventus and Real Madrid as well. Apparently Arsenal went in originally with a £31 million offer, and that has been swatted away. The French club are looking for around 54 million, which seems like a hell of a lot of money for one player, especially when Arsenal haven't really been spending too much. Their transfer business this summer has been brilliant. Bringing in Gabriel for under 30 million, bringing Willian on a free transfer. There's a few others here and there. They've really done some good business. I'm just not so sure where they're going to get the money from to go out and spend 54 million, especially if they also want to bring in the likes of Thomas Partey as well. It all looks like it depends on the future of Alexander Lacazette, who, well, let's just say his future isn't quite clear. If they can sell him, bring in some money, then maybe they'll be able to do one of these two transfer deals. As for Aouar, Arteta and Guardiola both said they're fans of the player, so it looks like he has choices if he is to leave Lyon. But next up, and to Chelsea, who look to be taking their summer spending to over 250 million after agreeing a deal with Rennes for around 18 million for their goalkeeper Aour Mendy. Now, it's been a long-running sort of joke, if you will, that Kepa isn't quite the goalkeeper that Chelsea thought he was when they first bought him, and there have been so many rumours that he will not be number one next season. There's been links with Jan Oblak, there's been links with Andre Onana, but now it finally looks like the 28-year-old Mendy will be joining the club. The 6'6" stopper has had one hell of a season for Rennes and is deserving, basically, of all the coverage, all the rumours, and of the big move that he is about to make. This obviously leaves Kepa and Willy Caballero to battle it out for Chelsea's number 2 spot, but it is rather embarrassing for Kepa because he costs like 70 million. That is a hell of a lot of money for a goalkeeper, and then for an £18 million goalkeeper to come in and do a lot better, if he does, well, that really says something about the Spaniard. Anyway, if Chelsea do manage to then sell Kepa, they'll probably get a fair bit of money for him, and this would actually really help to balance the books because, as we mentioned, they've spent almost 250 million this summer. Next up then, in a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer rumours that you might have missed, and PSG goalkeeper Alfonso Areola has joined Fulham on loan. In the Manchester United Sancho deal, there apparently has been a little bit of a breakthrough that they've now completely agreed all the agent and the player fees, although that looks to have been done for a few weeks now, and they're still waiting, Dortmund that is, on a €120 million offer. As for Sergio Aguero, well, apparently there is no new contract on the table for the Manchester City striker, with his current deal ending in 2021, and Jeremy Doku is the Anderlecht player that Liverpool has marked as a successor to Sadio Mane. Finally then, we come to this week's Thursday favourites. This is where you guys ask me some of my 5 favourite things in football at the moment, and remember, because I have to say this every single week, this is my 5 favourites. If you're asking why a player isn't there, because he's not on my 5 favourite list, That's where you guys come in and let me know yours in the comment section down below. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but it is my 5 favourite free transfers this summer coming in from Bida21. So, moving on to the list, first off, Thomas Meunier. A lot of clubs interested in him, a very good defender, and obviously just didn't see his future at PSG, and I think Dortmund have got an amazing deal for him. Next up, and it's Willian. Yes, he may have left Chelsea, who I dislike, to Arsenal, who I also dislike, being a Spurs fan, but on the face of it, it's a very good deal. He's still a very good player, Willian. He can still be a very good impact player off the bench when the younger stars at Arsenal are getting most of the game time, and yeah, on a free transfer, that's a pretty good deal. Next up, and Thiago Silva. Yes, he is 36 years old, but with all the experience and the brilliance that he has got, it is definitely a massive step up for Chelsea. Not just on the pitch, but also what he can bring to the younger players as well, the likes of Tomori and Malang Sarr, who's also just joined the club on a free transfer too. Thiago Silva is going to be priceless in the dressing room. Next up, from one Silva to another, and it's David Silva. He left Manchester City, looked like he was heading to Lazio, but at the last minute, diverted back to La Liga with Real Sociedad. Again, 34 years old, maybe in the wrong end of his career, but do not underestimate David Silva. He still had a fantastic year at Manchester City, was named in the PFA Team of the Year, and if they'd have kept him for one more year, you probably wouldn't have batted an eyelid if he was to still produce moments of magic on the field. So yeah, an unbelievable signing. And lastly, finally, my number 1 favourite free transfer of the summer is James Rodriguez. Now I know you're thinking, hold on Matt, didn't Everton pay 25 million or 12 million or whatever was going on? No, they actually didn't. Reports in the last few days have confirmed that in fact, Real Madrid accepted nothing for the Colombian. He moves to Everton on a free transfer, and the only part of the deal was that they have a 10 to 20% of the sell-on clause for however much money Everton get from him when they eventually decide to sell him. Of course, he won't be thinking about that now, and neither will the club, as they've just bought him in. But yeah, it was actually a free transfer. In fact, it was the 7th highest free transfer of all time. That means his market value at the time of the free transfer was the 7th highest. So yeah, actually, when you put that together, that is a phenomenal deal for Everton, and definitely my favourite free transfer of the summer. So there we have it. Let me know your Thursday favourites in the comment section down below, and your thoughts on the rest of today's daily news. Whilst you're at it, you can smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on Onefootball. But until next time, I will see you guys later.